I never had meetings with Russian operatives or Russian intermediaries about the Trump campaign.
That's your Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, who has come under attack these last couple of days. We're going to check in with Karen Travers, ABC News White House correspondent. We're going to check in with her in mere moments. But as of right now, you have got, let me get the numbers here straight. You've got 140 Democrats calling on Attorney General Sessions to resign, including Claire McCaskill. And you have about 44 Republicans who have now come out in favor of him to recuse himself, which is exactly what he said he would do yesterday. Karen Travers, ABC News White House correspondent. The last time we left you, he said he was not going to recuse himself because he met with the Russian ambassador as a member of the Armed Services Committee. Now he is recusing himself. What happened in the last 24 hours?
I think that answer is still the same. He said that the meetings were in the context of him as a senator, policy conversations, and related to his work on the Armed Services Committee. But just hours before he had this press conference to say that he was recusing himself, the White House press secretary was still saying, no, there's no reason. There's nothing to recuse himself from. The president said he had total confidence in him, but did note that he didn't know about those conversations that Jeff Sessions had with the ambassador. Yesterday, though, Sessions said that recusal isn't admitting he did anything wrong, but the perception isn't good. And as you know, sometimes in Washington, that's the biggest thing. How does it look? And it didn't really look good.
All right. And he kind of embarrassed the president because the president was on an aircraft carrier defending him. And then just moments later, Jeff Sessions recused himself. So they're clearly not telling the left hand what the right hand's doing.
And also interesting, the president was coming back from southeastern Virginia after that appearance on the aircraft carrier. And the Sessions press conference was scheduled for 4 o'clock. And it happened a couple minutes after that Eastern time. The president had just landed at Joint Base Andrews outside Washington and stayed on the plane to watch the press conference. And just a remarkable, timeline of events. I've spent a lot of time at the White House covering the Bush and Obama administrations. And I said, I recalled presidents staying on the plane to watch something, but in my memory, it was usually the end of a baseball game or a basketball game. It wasn't whether or not his attorney general was about to make a bombshell announcement at the Department of Justice. So these are very different times here at the White House.
All right. So with that happened, then the White House announces that Jared Kushner has met with this Russian ambassador at some point?
Yeah, we confirmed this last night, that in December, Jared Kushner and Mike Flynn, remember Mike Flynn, met with the Russian ambassador at Trump Tower. And they described this really as an introductory, get the ball rolling, hi, how are you type of meeting. But of course, any time that Mike Flynn jumps back into the headlines, is not great because of how that all went down with the Russian ambassador. And I should note that Jeff Sessions' conversations with the Russian ambassador certainly seem different in nature than what we know Mike Flynn was talking with him about, and also the way that Mike Flynn didn't fully explain what those conversations were is what irked the White House.
What is it about this Russian ambassador that nobody can remember meeting with him?
Right, that's also amazing. And he's a pretty memorable figure. He's somebody that's been in Washington for a decade in this position, a longtime diplomat for Russia and the Soviet Union. He's very familiar to journalists, members of Congress, policy wonks here, does a lot of socializing. And that's his job. That's what he's supposed to be doing in Washington. He should be meeting with members of Congress and top officials, but I mean, my goodness. Now everybody's going to be hiding, I think, when they meet with him.
Karen Travers, this is a drip scenario where every 4 or 5 hours there's another story. What kind of sense are you getting from the White House?
The White House still insisting that there's no there, that despite, all of these ongoing investigations, they still say nothing has been proven. Well, the response to that is, nothing also has been finalized. I mean, these are ongoing investigations. We haven't gotten a report from any intelligence committees or from the Department of Justice. The information that we are getting is through news reporting. And it's also been interesting to note how the White House hasn't gotten ahead of a lot of things. The president saying he didn't know about these meeting Sessions had. Maybe that's not that surprising, but we're asking the questions of who else is going to have meetings that could be in the headlines next week? And what are you guys doing to make sure that you are on top of all the information? Because for now, it's just been the White House reacting to something that's been reported.
I don't know, Karen Travers, if you've had a chance to see George Bush's promo tour for
did.
his book, but did you know he was this funny covering him all those years?
I did. The president, and I think that was something that maybe got lost during all of those years when he would have off-the-record sessions with reporters, or just, if you followed him very closely. He was a very genial, warm person. But yeah, I mean, it's also amazing how once people get out of office, too, they certainly become a lot funnier and more relaxed. Look at Bob Dole.
Right.
Remember Bob Dole when he started doing all those commercials after he lost the election? People were like, where was this in 96? But
it's a legitimate point that, you know, they sort of gain their humanity back.
I think my favorite part of this media tour he's doing is when he's been talking about Michelle Obama and how close they have gotten through various appearances. And I think he was asked by Ellen DeGeneres of, why do you two get along so well? And he said, she likes my sense of humor. And if people find me funny, I like them back.
Yeah. Karen Travers, great work. Thanks for checking in. Have a good day.
Thank you.
6:56, Big 550.